Good evening. Well, welcome to Soni Irabor Live. Tonight we're looking at information management, information in governance, and information on how to carry the people along if and when necessary. So I have the pleasure of welcoming to the show tonight a man who has been an information manager, because he was a former commissioner of information, sports, and culture in Ekiti State. People, well, he's my friend, so I call him my friend. There are many of us who will say he's also daring and controversial. Well, all combined, I call him my friend, Mr. Daring and Mr. Controversial. Sir Kayode Otitoju. Now, he was once a chairman of the Ekiti Residents Association of Nigeria. For those of us who live in Lekki, and many of you who see us as being what we are not, God day. But I'm glad to have him here on the show tonight on information management. What is most important for the people to follow governance and understand what it takes, to be led? Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
So, what is information management in the first place?
Well, I will take it from practical perspective.
Okay.
Not the dictionary.
Okay. Yes, sure.
Is how to manage the state information. If it's governor, state.
Yeah.
If it's presidency, state.
Okay, well, of course, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, how to manage in such a way that there is a sort of what we call Pareto optimality. That is, you don't satisfy your boss at the expense of
the people.
So the people are not worse off by the way you handle the information management of your boss. Or of the state. You must carry both body along.
Okay. You've been critically looking at governance in many governments past. I mean, you were commissioner in 2004.
Yep.
Okay. Now this 21 years ago, that's a whole lifetime if you ask me. So you've seen governments come and go. You've seen from Obasanjo's government,
yes,
Umaru Diko's government, then Jonathan's government, Buhari's government, now Tinubu's government.
Yeah.
How would you assess the processes involved in the information management?
You see, during the time of Obasanjo, Obasanjo was the information manager. Yeah, because he had to do so. He came in, he had to send the military to the barracks and manage it in such a way that from major down to major generals or lieutenant general, once he knows that you have political ambition, you are retired.
Ooh.
You are
now,
retired.
That because he was a soldier.
Exactly. And he wanted to imbibe the spirit of democracy.
And discipline.
So he had to combine both information management and the can-do spirit of a soldier. So after that, in fact, along the line, in 2006, 2007, I aspired to be the governor of Ekiti State.
Okay.
All right.
That's true. That's an experience.
Yeah. And along the line, they just chose someone who came third in our primary. And I have to on the TV, on everywhere, I had to fight it because I always fight for my right. But the government, the Obasanjo regime had already made up his mind that it was going to use the person
that it made for.
So when he came third, they still made him the governor.
So that was the story. Because there was the story of the governor that was third in elections, and then he became the governor.
During Obasanjo, he knew what he wanted to achieve, and he got it. By that time, that you are a commissioner or you are the minister or whatever, you have to look at the body, language. Because he was in charge. He made who will be a governor to be a governor. And he had to take, and that's why you must be assertive as a leader. Obasanjo was so assertive. Some people see it dictatorial because he was coming from military background, but if he had not taken Nigeria the way he took it, he wouldn't have been able to achieve all that he achieved. So the position of, say, Minister of Information or Commissioner for Information, in fact, should be the position of Ajiroba,
meaning
the first to see the king every day, and the last to see the king.
Like the chief PRO officer for the...
Or what you call chief of staff.
Chief of staff.
The chief of staff should not be closer to governor or to president.
The information manager should he want to,
But he was so close to
Jonathan.
Yeah. And because Abati was, because Abati is a real information man, you see how he managed. During the Yaradua, that was short-lived. So don't let us spend much time on that.
It's just, but it's one government anyway.
It wasn't one government. No, it wasn't 2 months, 2 years. So the
remaining 6 years were Jonathan.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Abati, to me, managed very well.
Yeah.
Because he knew
his principle and what he was doing.
And highly knowledgeable.
Okay.
Highly knowledgeable.
But the government that took over from Jonathan was Buhari's government.
Yes. And
what would you say of information management at that stage?
Just as I said, whoever manages the information has to dance to the tune or look at the body language of his principal.
All right.
So no matter how good you are, once you are managing information under Buhari, you can't outdo your master.
And there, you see, in Buhari's case, was the kind of person that didn't say much.
And he had his own agenda. So he had his agenda, so you must walk in tandem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how do you carry the people along with you along that line?
Buhari, to me, his regime was nothing different from the regime of a military man. Yeah.
I understand.
No, I give you an example.
Yes.
Before he became president, I was with the former president, Baba Obasanjo.
Yes.
And we were discussing. And he said, I asked him, he said, Kayode, what do you feel about Buhari's government? How, he hasn't become government, but the president. But Obasanjo had already bought in to his distance. So we were discussing. So he now said that he will be very good in discipline. When we are talking of discipline and security, it will be very good. But when it comes to economy, Baba, doubted his
capacity.
And by the time he became president, you could see the, laxity, in that area. Even the security that Papa thought he would handle very well.
He didn't.
He became...
in fact, you can see, again, there was a lot of things hidden in the process. One was his health, and the fact that he was not always in the country, And the other, of course, was the idea of the fact that somebody said he was not... They said there was a Jibril playing a Buhari, Now,
and he had to now put his information minister on the spot. Alhaji
Lai Mohammed.
Lai Mohammed.
In fact, that...
And that one has to dance to his tone.
Yes.
And people now thought he was Liar Mohammed instead of Lai Mohammed. That you have to, you just okay, I manage information for Fayose.
Yeah.
Fayose first time.
Right.
You know anybody
Very
who,
controversial governor too.
anybody who manages information for Fayose know that he can manage
Information himself. So I wanted to say it was like Obasanjo.
Immediately I was appointed commissioner. There was this council headed by one elderly person. They called me to the office. They said, they table everything and said, how do you want to handle your office? I told them, well, instead of being confrontational like my boss, that I will use moral suasion.
Moral suasion. Please explain that.
Okay. You know, my boss, people didn't want him to become governor.
Okay.
They say he didn't read well. This
But he has some good governance strategy.
how that guy learned
Crazy.
how he learned governance.
You don't know.
Anyway, he had to take Ekiti as
He's big.
well. I'm elected, I'm the governor, and I know what I'm doing. So from the Obas, he wasn't too respectful to the other Obas. No, he wasn't. And I had to now manage it. At times, I will use my own money to do radio jingles, to appeal to the Obas. To appeal to
What
the
was
Obas.
the governor's reaction to your appeal?
That's where Fayose became my idol. When you do something right, he will praise you. I tell you, I was brought in when his junior sister was attacking him, attacking his government. May her soul rest in peace.
Amen.
Bimpe. I'll give you an instance. So Bimpe learned that I was the commissioner. Nobody knew me from Adam. I wasn't a PDP man. Instead, I contested under Ganifa Wemi and Femi Falana's NCP.
SCP.
Because they drove me away by not allowing
Alliance
me to
for
have my...
Democracy.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
They didn't allow me to go for primaries. They dictated. So I had to go, and I even thought I would have nothing to do with politics. So I came home, but Falana came to my house and, you know, drafted me to NCP and gave me candidacy for the senatorial. As God would do it, we were able to win 2 House of Assembly, while the AD ended up with 2 House of Assembly in the long run. On the long run, while PDP had 22 House of yeah. So what I'm saying is, to manage information, I had to use moral suasion. Yeah. Moral suasion means you have to use non-conventional ways to appeal to the Obas. And once you now do that, and Fayose sees that it was working, he will say, well done, my commissioner.
In that wise, you took laws into your hands.
Yes.
With a view to achieving some, pluses for your governor.
Yes. And he accepted it. And,
So your role was vital.
No,
balance the equation.
Role of, like the commissioner, the minister for information now, or is it special advisor or whatever?
Yes,
yeah.
Media and publicity.
Yeah,
yes.
the moment they just do yes sir type of thing, they will let the public down. Yeah. You must, as a professional, though I wasn't a trained journalist or anything.
No, experience. You said it just now.
Yeah.
Practical.
Thank you.
Definition. Yes.
Right from university. I was the PRO of the student union in 79, University of Ibadan. So
you had
it was
experience.
like what we call a scribe passionate trait. So now once you do it well, it's to the credit of your boss. Okay, see what is happening in Nigeria now. Any little thing, the information manager, you don't have to react to everything. You don't. And when you have to react, you must look at the body language of your principal. Yeah. Very, very important.
Now, before we even come to the present administration, because we're going to do that after the break, but let's look at your experience, because what I say is a very good case study, I must say. Your experience as an information manager for him and for Ekiti State. And then, how do you balance the opportunity that arises from a condemning populace, citizenry, that tells you, listen, I do not want that man as my governor, but he is there, so I have to cope with him. How do I manage that? You, the information manager, what role should you play and what do you have to do?
You see, before I was appointed, I belonged to a, body, Ekiti Elites. We called ourselves E11.
Okay.
So in that particular circle, we have Babafemi Ojudu, Ajiniran, all of us. Dari Babari, you get my point. Mm-hmm. We belong to E11. And it was like, why should you join Fayoshe's government? I told them, well, I contested Senate in 2003 in order to serve my people. Mm-hmm. I didn't get it. By 2004, the person, who became governor looked for me. He came to Lagos to look for me. Mm-hmm. And when I told my wife, she said, yes, you didn't get the Senate and you want to serve your people. Now you are being appointed to serve your people. Well, I give you 100% support. And once my government, once my wife says, yes, that's all. Yeah. Because all the children, with the exception of one, all the 4 children were already in the university in the US. Okay. All right? While the last one was to join Atlantic Hall. Okay. In Ekpe. So I was thinking, if I leave her alone, my wife alone, said, even this boy is going to boarding house, so go and serve. But after 1 year, I just knew that nothing more to add, so I had to resign. I resigned, and my governor said, why are you resigning? I said, all the Obas, they are now with us. Everybody is with us. Even the E11, some of them are now warming up to contest election, because eventually people like Ojudu now became even a senator. You get my point? And there were so many people like that. Some of us are even king now, like the Oba of Ekiti. Okay. Yes, we were all E11. So, and we contribute our quotas to the development of Ekiti till tomorrow. So, but I was the first within the fold to join government, to take appointment.
And in your leaving government, the governor did not use it against you?
No, he said, why are you leaving? I said, well, I want to contest the senatorial. And I've already informed you. There was a day he got to the ESCO. He asked, is there anybody trying to, And I said, yes, I'll be going for Senate, Ekiti North. He now looked around. He now said, you, are you sure you are not contesting for anything? He said, among all of you, Otitoju is the only bold and truthful person. You get my point. So I was already preparing for Senate. And again, I was brought in to, handle ascertain this thing. And I've completed it successfully. So no need to. And I now became the first person to resign from government in Southwest, in the whole of Southwest, voluntarily. Not that you resign because there is threat that your guy will soon sack you. So, Fayose was so magnanimous in the sense that he asked me, what do you want me to do for you? No, he first said, you can't just go. If you go like that, it will look as if you are, okay, I said, okay, I will have 2 months. But out of the 2 months, I will use one as my accumulated leave, while I will spend 1 month more. So instead of 1 year, I spent 14 months. So, and that's it. So, and he said, what do you want me to do for you? I said, there is a road linking 2 communities and 2 wards in my area. Okay, Okeoniyo, Odoro, but both are under the initial of Odoro. Okay. And that road was so bad, it was never tarred. So I said, okay. He said, oh yeah, sketch it.
Come on, bro.
I sketched it, I gave him. Do you know, not quite 4 months after I left, he brought Caterpillar to come and scrape it and did everything. Because he asked me to do the drawing, he took a copy and he said I should give a copy to my brother who happened to be the local government chairman, okay, Agbola. He now told Agbola, he said, be reminding me, you know, your man is going. So, and that one reminded. And if you get to Ekiti today, the widest township road is the road from Ajibandele Market to the Itapaji Road in Odoro. Because it can take 3 vehicles tow, 3 vehicles through, and that's the township road.
Okay, so we're on to Sir Kayode Otitoju, and so we're taking a short break. When we come back, we will now descend or discuss more about governance, information management, and the current administration. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Yes, Soni Irabor live with Sir Kayode Otitoju. What's the correct pronunciation? Otitoju or Otitoju?
Don't worry.
No, I worry.
Okay.
Because we were trained.
Otitoju. Otito means truth. Ju means supreme. So
Otitoju.
Truth. Otitoju means truth is supreme.
Yep.
Otitoju.
Look, the radio training we got, you must get the correct pronunciation of every name, irrespective of language or tribe or ethnicity, whatever. So, and we had a man who could speak 13 languages.
Wow.
You know, and he was very good with each name. So he taught us. So I lay claim to that. Well, today we are back on course discussing information management in governance. And you've been a commissioner of information, you've been a senatorial aspirant, you've been everything, a manager of men and resources. How do you think information should be managed when it comes to governance and followership?
You have to listen to the people. But in most cases, the managers listen to their bosses or principal.
Are you not supposed to advise as well?
You are supposed to advise.
In fact, that's why you.
But some of them are timid. Some of them are timid. You know, you must be able to advise and tell
special advisor on information and publicity.
Exactly.
Media and publicity.
You must.
Yes.
Not that every. Okay, for instance, the president. Asiwaju Ahmed
Tinubu, yes.
GCFR. He's a strategist.
He's a strategist.
He's someone that knows what he wants.
And I think he's also a good information manager. I think so too.
Of course. We were in it together. Let me tell you, when he was in Lagos fighting to make sure that they didn't relegate him to the background in AD, I was in Ekiti fighting to see that I wasn't relegated to the background towards 2003 election. Okay? Is the deputy during the first term became so close to Pa Abraham Adesanya.
Okay.
At the expense of
That was Kofo Bokno, right? Okay, really?
Yeah. At the expense of the president.
Yeah. Okay.
So the president had to carve out his own this thing, and otherwise he wouldn't.
Okay, so that's how Femi Pedro came in
Thank
as
you.
deputy governor.
Exactly. Otherwise he wouldn't have been governor, because the calculation then was to just do what they did to me in Ekiti.
What do you mean by that?
Oh, in Ekiti, I had already been penciled to be the senator for 2003 under AD.
Okay.
But a day to primary, because the governor then wanted to still use his deputy as deputy for second term. And the deputy happens to be from the same local government with me, Ikole Ekiti.
Ah, okay.
So they now said a day to primary. They said I shouldn't show up for the primary because they didn't want both the senator and the governor and the deputy governor to come from the same local government. That was how AD was then. Unlike in Ilorin or Kwara, where you now have the Sarakis. One is governor, the junior one was senator from the same family. But in Ekiti, they said because we are from the same local government. So I had to pot, you pot and join NCP. Not that I willingly joined, but I was persuaded.
So you cross-carpeted.
Exactly. That was how even cross-carpeting started in Ekiti. I started it. Yeah. And it worked. And I worked with the PDP and whatever. And the person who wanted to do second term as a deputy governor didn't win election again.
Ah.
So they were edged out. They were booted out. I didn't get the Senate.
He didn't even get.
Yeah, but the work I did for the senatorial still gave the person they preferred to win.
Okay.
In my own senatorial district. Why PDP now won the two other senatorial districts.
Okay. So going to the current situation.
Yeah.
I did say I referred to Tinubu as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR.
Yes.
As a strategist.
Yeah.
Okay. A good strategist will manage or ensure that he appoints a good information manager. Would you say the same for him now?
No. You see, when we were campaigning, I didn't know how Nduka Obagbena got my phone number. One day he just phoned and said, Kayode. I said, who is calling? He said, Nduka. I said, which one? He said, Obagbena. I said, the same. I said, how did you get my number? I said, if people want to get your number,
they will get it.
It's difficult. So he said, come and work with me. I said, work with me? Do you know my age? He must laugh. He now said, we are not talking of age now. I want you to come and work with me. To cut a long story short, I gave him 2 hours for me to think that I will get back to him with the phone he used in connecting me. All right? So, there and behold, it was like Nduka wanted someone who will be neutral. He didn't want everything to be obedient, inclined in his
team,
or to be PDP inclined.
Okay.
I didn't know. I was just myself. And I have to say the truth. So by saying the truth and by analyzing objectively, it now looks as if I was brought in to come and work for Tinubu. Yeah, because to me, that was the best aspirant.
Okay.
And so, and
this was before
analyzing
elections.
before election.
Okay.
So I was with the Arise.
Okay.
Between August 2022, and January.
2023.
I told him by February, election will start and I will leave. And as God will do it, something happened. As I finished my work on January 31st, 2023, someone that I analyzed this thing was not happy and took us to court.
Ooh.
He took Arise to court, 250 million, me, 250 million. And there and behold, we had to settle out of court or administrative settlement.
Wow.
Which was okay for the man because I said, well, I analyze news. If there is no news, I don't.
Before you that you analyze.
You get my point. And to God be the glory. All of us are back now. We are friends. Both the person who sued and the station where I used, to hear my view.
Yeah.
The three of us are.
But my question, managing, as a strategist.
Yeah.
What do you expect of him to? Shouldn't he be a good? He should be able to appoint a good information manager.
We were all expecting Alake.
Okay.
We were all expecting Alake to be
Alake was
because he was even his commissioner for information and strategy.
Yeah.
And we were expecting Alake.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, maybe because you must pick one minister from each state. And probably he needed someone to, handle the solid mineral sector. And you wanted someone who is his right-hand man. So he gave that to
who is bold and courageous.
Who is bold and courageous. Probably that's. But the person well suited for that job, who was even doing the job before the appointment of minister, was Dele Alake.
Okay.
Yeah.
From this explanation, it's now obvious that Dele was needed for something more important, so to speak.
Exactly.
All right. Assessing the way the current information management manager is going, what's your assessment?
Well, I think let's take two people, the minister and the special advisor. The minister is a fantastic person. I think he was even editor of a newspaper. That's the man from, is it Niger State? The Minister of Information.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
no,
He's good.
Very good.
Yeah, but Minister of Information does not manage information for the president.
Yeah, because he manages for Nigeria.
Exactly.
While the special advisor was like a CPS at state level.
Chief Press Secretary, yes.
So you want me now to talk of the CPS?
At federal level, yes.
At federal level.
Because it used to be CPS at federal level.
Well, just as I said, once you find it difficult to confront, not confrontational, to look at your boss and say, this is how I think this thing should be handled, then no matter how professional you are, you won't be seen as a professional from the outside world. I think that's the problem Onanuga is having.
Bayo Onanuga is the current special advisor on media and publicity for the president.
Yes.
The same Bayo was publisher of the news magazine.
I knew him when he was.
It was an extremist journalist, at the time, because we admired him because of his boldness, as it were, against any government in power, as it were, as well. So the same Bayo now turning around to seem not to Well, I don't know how to describe this
I've
because
already told you.
yes,
I've already told you. The
That's what-
problem is you can't outshine your master. When it comes to information management, okay? If you are a thoroughbred professional, you can hazard by way of
advice.
suasion.
Situation. Okay.
Suasion. But where you are a yes sir type of person, whatever the master says, you just have to walk around it and still present it. Or where you even think some people are doing things that are not so okay for your boss, and you now, decided to, indulge in antagonistic confrontation. Then the public won't see you as a good information manager, and your boss too, when it gets
You will get to a point where
midnight,
even he,
midnight when we think,
Yeah,
every leader think, say, come,
what is this man
what
doing?
is this man doing? Do you get my point? So that's why some of them are fired without notice. Yeah.
You see, look, I'm looking at the country, the way the country is. There's insecurity problem. There's economic problem.
Yeah.
Inflation is everywhere. So there's everything going wrong for the wrong reason. This is where an information manager should play the role of an arbiter of sorts, manage the situation in such a way that the people and the leader know their elements and their portions and where they should stay in the divide to carry the people, to carry the station afloat.
Yeah.
This is where I'm worried.
Let me now tell you. You know, I'm a member of APC.
Oh, you are?
Oh, I am.
Okay.
I joined APC during the mega
rally
in Ekiti in 2015.
Oh, okay.
When Buhari came.
in.
Exactly. Because my blood, everything was AD. And AD is what exactly.
APC, yes.
I only had to go, to all these other parties just to prove a point that I still remain a politician. Until tomorrow, I still deliver my word to whatever political party I belong. I delivered it to NCP in 2003. Up to today, I do whatever to make sure. I don't boast of 2 words, but my word. That's what word 6 in Nicole is where I go that it goes. Why? Because I handle the community by contributing very well to the community through the Oba. I contribute very well to the churches. Okay, so it's no more a party thing. It's where is our leader going?
The important thing is that you're carrying the people along.
Exactly.
So how can the information manager carry the people along on behalf of the president?
By being, to some extent, being bold, professional, and diplomatic.
Bold, professional, and diplomatic. That's interesting because that gives me a lot to think about. Bold, okay? Professional, do your job right. And diplomatic. Weigh the balance and make sure that everybody's happy.
You know, as I mentioned a certain theory when we started.
Yes.
Pareto optimality.
Please.
Consumption of A doesn't leave B, what's up?
Pareto or
optimality.
Optimality.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an economic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this, but I'm not satisfied yet with the answers.
Okay.
Tinubu has had a very good track record at least for those who know him very well. He's managed to put Lagos where it is. Again, for those who know him very well. So, if we carry the model of Lagos into federal, then we need to see how can you carry the entire country along. I need Tinubu to give me that answer, and I need his information manager to be able to decipher what is required for the ordinary man on the street to understand what he needs to do to make sure that Tinubu is given a fair chance to play his role well.
I think as a strategist, is already handling that by allowing the ministers to give their scorecard. So when you see someone like Omai taking, you know, the information, the media.
I must say he did well on the 3rd Milan Bridge.
That's what I'm saying. Is the 3rd Milan Bridge alone? One of the Calabar, Lagos Calabar distance,
yes.
Stage by stage.
Okay.
How he manages and he does the job and handles the information perfectly.
So the people are made aware.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you don't leave that to the image maker alone. Because as he's doing that, he's giving his principal fantastic image.
Yes.
This work is done by during the regime of Tinubu. This
yes.
one is okay. He hardly even mentioned his own name.
Yeah.
That's how it should be done. So the president has now, you know, allowed both the heads of some ministries and the head of places like Central Bank or whatever to manage their information very well. Okay, like see the way the governor of the Central Bank handles the periodic briefing.
Yes.
I think every three months.
Okay.
Okay. Now I think they did one just last week and still pegged the APR
Okay,
to 27 point something.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody knows that that's not the best. Because when you set I've forgotten the terminology,
okay.
It dictates the interest rate.
Yeah.
And what do people now do? Instead of people putting money, if you have money, instead of putting it in a saving account, they go to capital market where they can get better interest. If the normal savings is giving you 4%,
Peanuts, yes.
4%, the capital market is giving you 20, between 20 and 24, because the federal government, its own treasury bill is now at 27 point something. So the banks or the asset managers could still take money from people who have money, give them 20% or 22%, which is still below the 27.
Yes.
And they still make their own money.
And then there's still a balance and effort to make business.
The problem is the manufacturers, the end users.
Yeah.
They have to now assess at more than that 27%.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get my point?
Yes. Yes.
So it's killing investment, it's killing manufacturing sector, but it's making the rich people to get money without sweat.
You are reminding me of Donald Trump. Make money without sweat.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, but
because their money works for them.
Yeah, but then the ordinary man on the street is finding it difficult.
Thank you.
To leverage his capability. So how do we, because we have less than 2 minutes to go now.
But the merit of that is that the information is managed well.
Yeah, but
from time to time, they tell people,
the ministers
and people now know that actually there is a sort of balance in exchange rate. Though high, you can now use it to plan. Yeah. Unlike when it was going from maybe 1,000 naira to dollar, and was going until it almost hit 2000. Now, you know, the variant is
1.6.
Exactly. So people can now import or do things
because they know what they are leveraging
exactly.
their balance on.
Yeah.
Okay, a last shot.
Yes, sir.
What's your advice to the information manager and to the president himself? Because what you have said now has not helped the ordinary man on the street, unfortunately. So how can they leverage to make the ordinary man on the street, you know, have a fair play, an opportunity to survive?
I would suggest that the president makes himself more accessible.
To who?
To the people around him.
Okay.
So that he can know and hear, you know, from the human radio. Human radio, that what people are saying.
Yeah, what? Tell me, make I tell you.
And once you know that, okay, like me now, I'm a real stakeholder in APC, and I'm a professional. I'm fellow Charter Institute of Logistics and Transport. We are not up to 30 in the whole of Nigeria that has risen to that. Now, when you look at someone who is managing the sector, where I'm a professional, where I spent 10 years.
And you have seen the loopholes.
10 years with Post Authority immediately after Youth Corps. And you now see people who are in the maritime or transport section, people who you just brought from your state. Probably they have been advisor to you on other things, and you now make them the head of agencies
and
under blue marine economy. Yes. You won't be happy. And again, up till now, they haven't, these 2 years into the administration, they haven't, the board of parastatals and agencies, they are yet to be. They just speak.
I'm afraid I have to end
so
this
all
program.
these are things that must be managed very well. Otherwise, we will just be thinking that things are okay, and when it's time for election, you see people not voting for their party.
On that note, very serious note, our Soni Irabor Live will end tonight, and there has been a session with Sir Kayode Otitoju. And of course, you know, information management has been the issue at stake. And the bane of our society is that we must carry the people along. And I hope that, well, the stakeholders that matter will understand what we are up against. Thank you very much, and good night, everyone.